What's going on, all you badass apes? My name is Tyler. Welcome back to the channel. AMC took an absolute beating today, down over 8.5%. But does this mean the rally is over? No, it does not. The rally is still coming, still on the table, and we are still up way more than we were just a couple of weeks ago. So the situation is still looking incredibly bullish, but we have to go into why AMC is selling off today. And there is a lot of factors that we do need to talk about pertaining to the overall market, but also directly to AMC that probably other YouTubers really aren't going to be talking about. So let's get straight into it, guys. Drop that like on the video, consider subscribing to the channel, and also hit that comment section. Let me know what you think about this information that is being provided to you. Do you think AMC is going to continue to sell off? Do you think this gamma squeeze situation is going to continue to play out? Let me know your thoughts on that. But before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you to everybody that has supported this fundraiser, that has actually donated. Obviously, there is no obligation to do so, but if you are in a financial situation to do so, it is very much appreciated. She will not be working for a very long time, and I guess I got news today that she took what words do they say? A little bit of a downside or something not positive for the day. I'm still trying to get clarification on that. Everybody involved has been pretty busy. I can't go up to the hospital, but I mean, if you guys want to support in that way, by all means, feel free to do that. Linked in the description and in the pinned comment. It's really hard to talk about, to be honest, but all right, let's get into what is going on for AMC stock. And when it comes down to it, there's a lot of things that are at play here. And first and foremost, probably the most important thing is we're just seeing a short attack. We see this in the data. The free flow on loan has went down about 1%, but we're still seeing the short interest at 19.26%. So you're likely to have seen over 1% of the overall float sold short into the open market today. And you know, we've seen over 2% of the free float be sold short in the markets this Wednesday back here when we've seen this big drop of around 8% as well. But we are seeing a decrease in volume today, only 65.5 million. So when you are not seeing as many buyers coming in to match all of those, you know, shorted shares that are going into the markets, that's really where you can see a downturn in the stock based off of low trading volume and a high percentage of the overall float sold short into the markets on any given day. So I think that's the biggest factor at play, but there's definitely other things that are waning on AMC. And we should definitely go over the consumer price index. Did come out today. It said it rose 5.3% in August from a year earlier. The data showed that was a slightly lower annual pace than the 5.4% increase in July. So inflation has actually slowed down just a little bit. And I think a lot of investors are really waiting to see what the Fed does say later on next week, if they are planning to taper by the end of this month or in October. So I think you're just seeing this overall market sell-off, including AMC being pushed down by these factors we are going over because of the, expecting taper talks. And just to be clear, Europe has already started to taper. So, I mean, there's probably a good reason to sell off some of your assets, especially while the market's at pretty much all-time highs. But something else I do want to go over as well is that the S&P 500 actually today is getting very close to its 50-day moving average. And you guys can see the trend here. Ever since pretty much November of 2020, we have touched this once, a little bit. I mean, we went under this in March of 2021 as well, but we bounced back up just as fast we went under. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we are on our 8th time touching this and bouncing off of it. Now, we don't know if we are going to bounce off of it due to the fear, due to all the things happening in the economy. The debt ceiling is just around the corner. The United States government may default on debt. And a good way to look at this, and a fellow YouTuber pointed this out to me, Trading Fraternity actually pointed this out, that when the debt ceiling happens, the best way to explain it or to look at it is if you have these debt obligations to, say, China or Japan, are you going to pay that debt or are you going to fund Social Security? That's not going to fly, paying off China and not funding other things for America. So if they don't come to a deal with this debt ceiling situation, we could definitely see an overall market meltdown. So that would be very bad. And obviously political climates these days not too many people agree with any one given thing. So definitely something to be watching out for. If the market actually does come down, that will be bullish for AMC, but we are going to talk about that in another video later on tonight, so stay tuned for that. But those are the main reasons why AMC is selling off so much. Like I said, the fact that we have super low trading volume, not enough buyers coming in, because the markets and investors really are just waiting to see what happens with this economic data that we're going to be getting on Friday, the unemployment numbers, as well as what Jerome Powell does say next week when he does address basically the world about if they are going to taper or not. So that's really the main situation. Like I said, the free flow on loan, about 1% being shorted into the markets today. But with that as well, I do expect the short interest to go over 20%, probably to 20.5% or even 21%. But it may be, as you guys do know, with the T+2 settlement time, about 2 days before this data is actually reflected. But overall, nothing to be concerned about. Like I said, 19.26% short interest, 98.53 million shares that are sold short. Very, very large amounts. Right here, you're prone for a short squeeze. But as we do know, AMC has a whole new level of FOMO buyers and day traders that are waiting to get into the stock. I would imagine, people that sold out on the way down at about 60, 50, or even down here at about 30, they are getting that bad FOMO demon looking to buy back into the stock. And that is for sure going to happen, in my personal opinion. And just 20% short interest overall is a very large amount. But you are seeing the share utilization going down a little bit at 90.47%. So I do expect the free float on loan to go up, because the share utilization going down means that there is more shares available to actually be lent out and then ultimately sold short. But it may take a couple days, like I said, T+2 settlement time, for all of this data to catch up and actually be reflective. But we have been right on the last 3 predictions that we did make. So I do expect short interest to go up, the free flow on loan to go up, and the share utilization to either stay the same or go down a little bit. And that's basically all you guys need to know from the Ortex data. Very, very bullish. But as far as the gamma squeeze situation, we are looking at the potential here to still see a huge gamma squeeze. I would not write this off just yet. We're seeing 137,451 calls that are in the money, out of the money calls at about 370,000. So you've seen a lot of activity picking up on the AMC option chain, specifically with the out of the money calls going up about 100,000 just over the past couple of days. And why I say the gamma squeeze is still on the table, as we do know, most weeks the actual open interest is held at the furthest strike on the chain, which is usually the 145 strike, but we are only seeing 83,000, almost 84,000 of this open interest being held furthest down the chain at the 145 strike. But you are seeing a majority of this open interest being held very close to the money. At the $50 strike, you're looking at 25,500 for open interest. At the 55, almost 28,000. At the 60, 38,000. 65 at 18,000. The 70 at 20,000. And you guys can just tell from these numbers, these are very large numbers, closer to the money than we have seen in a very long time. As well as the 80 is pretty significant, 10,000, the 90, 21,000, the 100, 20,000. And then you drop off in open interest all the way to 145. So relatively speaking, we are very close to seeing a lot of hedging happening due to the market makers hedging for all of these out of the money calls. So that is basically the most important things you guys need to know. Just a brief look at where we sit as far as a technical basis. After a sell-off of 8.5%, bouncing up 0.30% in after hours, I do expect a pretty substantial bounce if the markets do chill out, or if we are seeing margin calls start to go out as the overall market does go down. So those are really the 2 ways this could play out. But overall, I do expect a bounce after such a red day. As long as apes hold on to their positions, we can only go so low. And we are still in a very bullish trajectory. And I actually did call out in yesterday's video that I am expecting a consolidation day, not a negative 8.5% day. That was definitely a surprise. But, down about 3%, that's pretty much a consolidation day. Up 3%, relatively speaking, a consolidation day as well. So just because this did happen really doesn't mean anything. But this is a significant level sitting right here at about $47.50. We are currently at $47.44. And this is where you see a lot of action. You've seen some resistance around here, and you did see a bit of consolidation right under our resistance, which was at 48.50, but I would watch the 47.50 to see if we can maintain above that, or if we flush down. If we do flush down, then watch the 44.50 level or even the $45 level. Those are going to be the major levels to be watching for. To the upside, obviously, we have to cross over $50 before we talk about any other potential upside, but I do think that could happen relatively easy. It's going to be very volatile. We have known this for a long time, so it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. Let me know down below in the comment section if you have sold out, if you still have your conviction, what the deal is. I think a lot of apes, or all apes, really should still have their convictions, but this is very much a self-fulfilling prophecy, so make sure we are all on the same page. I am diamond handing for as long as it takes. I don't care if it takes 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I will continue to hold my shares. I am, obviously deep in the money on those shares, so it doesn't really matter to me if I'm even deep in the money or if I'm negative. If you have high conviction in your trade, then you should sleep just fine at night. You shouldn't even think about what AMC is doing really on a day-to-day basis. So that is all for this video. Drop that like on the video. Consider subscribing to the channel. Hit that notification bell if you guys want to be notified when these videos are uploaded. Also, check out the 4 links linked down below in the description, as well as the GoFundMe if you guys would like to show your support in that way. We're about halfway there, so getting close to the $1,500 goal. I would greatly appreciate it, but obviously no obligations to do so. There's the links for the free stocks down there, so if you guys want to support the direct channel in that way, highly appreciate that as well. But that is all I do have for this video. I will see you guys in the next one.